Hey everyone, I just wanted to do kind of an end of year recap, if you will. The crazy thing is that going into 2020, I envisioned it very differently than how it was. This is, previous to COVID, previous to kind of all of the FD like modified schedules and wearing masks. I mean, the only time we wore a mask was in here welding or building cars and cages, so that was kind of something new for us. So 2020 really took us kind of by surprise right off the start. Obviously, you saw we had a little bit of a rough year. Started off flipping the truck and trailer. Luckily, everyone was okay. We got that back up and going, rocking and rolling. And just looking back on it, we've gone through kind of quite a lot, just like I'm sure a lot of you guys have as well. But we ended up being able to kind of adapt, overcome, move forward with everything. I know some people weren't as lucky. So my heart's out to all of the people affected by COVID, whether it's family members or friends or just jobs, businesses, companies, all that stuff. So it was a rough year for everyone. I totally understand this. So anyways, wanted to give you guys kind of an update, what we have going on, looking forward to the 2021 season, what we've been doing in the off season. We tried to get a lot of seat time, a lot of driving. We've been working a lot with Garagistic, these guys right here. They're becoming really close with us, designing a lot of really cool stuff for basically for you guys and for everyone else around the world that drives BMWs. We also have the final days of, oh, actually, I guess today's New Year's Eve. So the final day of the livery design, which would be super cool. You guys can design a livery. It'll be on our car for 2021. So that's kind of a cool thing as well. And yeah, kind of show you where we have going on side projects. As you guys know, we're building a car for Tony Cisneros for Pro 2 next year. He's gonna go out there. I believe he's gonna kill it. He's a phenomenal driver. I know he's gonna do very well. We have a platform that we've been lucky enough to drive for the last couple years. It was kind of cool. I was standing over here to show you guys. This is kind of our progression. We have All-Star Bash, and then we went to another All-Star Bash, and then the last All-Star Bash up here, and worked from Top Drift and Drift League, Southwest Drift, and then ended up in Formula Drift. That was for Pro 2. And then this year we drove Pro 1, which is kind of our goals, our dreams, something we've always tried to get to, was to drive Pro 1. I know it's a big goal for a lot of people. For us, it was a huge goal. And yeah, I'm super excited. Next year, it looks like we're gonna have a full schedule. So we're gonna look and hopefully be driving Long Beach. That's a dream of mine. I've always wanted to drive. So that's really kind of close to my heart as well as driving Long Beach. I've been there every year since I was really small with my parents. So it's something I look forward to for sure. But behind me here is Tony's Pro 2 car build. So this is what we've been doing in the off season. We build cars over here and kind of walk you through pretty simple. It's an E46. If you guys don't know your body shells very much, which I mean, there's not much for you guys to take a peek at, but we'll kind of show you what it looks like. So change the motor mounts to chassis mount style. Obviously, we're running all Wisefab. We're running feel on this, of course. I mean, that's what we started winning on, and that's just what we trust. Honestly, it is. We're running all of the Big Duck Club body kits, which makes it really nice. Roof delete, so everything's skinned on the roof. Very simple cage. So on our cages, we try and keep them as simple as possible. Obviously tucked as high as we can and as nicely and tight as we can. I know, it looks pretty decent there. You can see kind of on that side it's pretty tight, and then same with this bar. It's it's like just seamed all the way down. So try and keep that nice and tight. Same with this upper bar, up and out of the driver's head. As much as possible to give you as much room as possible, but very simple. There's nothing too high tech with it. We built the hole and everything for the fuel cell, so the fuel cell goes right in there. We decided to go with this style fuel cell to make it easy and accessible for anyone working on it. Then simply just boom, down bars right to shock towers, and yeah, not too high tech. You can see we were painting back here, underneath here. Oh, bam, RTS quick change. So we're running the quick change. We had to cut the floor out and taper it up to get this all to tuck. This is where the rear mount radiator sits, and then we have some tabs that hold it in up across here. Pretty easy. We like to Zeus fasten everything. I think I'm probably just addicted to Zeus fasteners, but we like it because it makes it really easy to come on and off. The back underneath, you would get the quick change subframe. Then we're running all the Wisefab and feel once again. So Wisefab front and rear. We run the 2-ways on the field. We run the traditional coilover. It seems to be a better fit for the application that we're using it for. Plus, it makes it easy to adjust. But yeah, other than that, it's a pretty simple car. It's E46. We got a lot of body panels and stuff over here. We have some finishing work here. The firewall's all done. We have the rear window, some pans, different things, rear mount radiator, AN lines, hoses, filler hose, and then just some stuff that we got to trim to get this to kind of all fit perfectly nice. But yeah, it should go back together pretty quickly. This is the Big Duck Club overs, and it's nice how we ended up doing it. You cut them out and then hammer them up, and it actually seals quite nicely all the way around, so you don't get air or smoke up in the side, and then the side up into here, and you know, try and keep as much smoke out of the car as possible. Windows are held in, just Zeus fastened, quick disconnects, make them easy. But yeah, we think it'll be a very, very solid chassis for him. These E46s tend to be a really good chassis. I mean, our E36 is the same thing, just a little bit older body style. The only thing you really need to do is underneath all of this. If you look up from here, we had to plate all of it, so it's all plated underneath, and that's mainly because these subframes like to tear out of the bottom of the cars. And it's not really, I mean, drifting definitely makes it worse, don't get me wrong on that, but we've had customer cars come in and friends' cars come in that are brand new. Let's say an automatic car that has, say, 100,000 miles on it, and seen subframes tear out of them. So yeah, it doesn't really matter the quality. That's kind of the only downside with these chassis are those rear subframes. So reinforce them, plate them up. They should last for a while, mattering how much horsepower you have in them. But I know FD is working on a couple things to try and get it even more reliable and even, you know, last a little bit longer than than what they originally were designed for. So that's kind of the project. That's Tony's car right here. The motor is sent over to Millennium Motorsports. He's going to get that thing checked out, updated. I know it's a LS7 with nitrous. That's what this nitrous container holder is back here. So LS7 with nitrous, the thing should be enough horsepower for Pro 2, and you know, he can always add a little bit more bottle to it for Pro 1. So it should be a good solid build. I also want to kind of take you over and show you what we have going on our car, on the Pro 1 car at this time. All right, so now we're here standing in front of our Pro 1 car. And this one, it's in kind of teardown mode. So we have a lot of things torn out of it right now. We do this once a year to just kind of go through the car and make sure it's all okay. We run a lot of events through the car and a lot of horsepower through the car. So you want to make sure this thing's solid. You don't want to be, you know, starting, let's say, like an East Coast swing where we run 3 or 4 rounds out on the East Coast and have some major problems. So we try and go through everything, clean it all up, do simple maintenance on it, and then go from there. So kind of walk you through. I know you guys have seen this car probably a couple times in different videos. This is also a pretty simple car, E36. We are running all of the WiseFab feel stuff, same as before, which it is a little dark in there, but just trust me, it's all WiseFab feel. But however, this is where it's at right now. So this is all of our water lines, which looks a little crazy at the moment. We have everything torn out of this. We run ACT clutch, which this thing, okay, so crazy story on the clutch. This clutch I got from Jeff Jones 3 years ago when we first put this car together. And it was like out back in his bottom drawer, a little rusty. And this is the same clutch, man. So we've been running this clutch now for 3 years. He's ran it, I think, for 5 years. And so what is that? That's 7, 8. That's like 8 years of pro driving. Well, a year and a half of it was not pro for me. So let's say 7 years of pro driving on one clutch, the same clutch. Has not been replaced, hasn't been rebuilt. You can tell it has an old date on it. So these things are solid. I would highly recommend the twin discs. And this is the Geo1, which isn't even the craziest clamping power. This is like a more stock clamping power. I think they have a Geo3 now that's like the insane 1600 horsepower or something crazy. But anyways, that thing will save you from not having to pull these clutches out every single round and keep changing them, because it's not fun on you or on your team. But anyways, this is what it looks like. It looks kind of like a mess. I did not realize that I was going to show you guys this until we looked at it right now. And yeah, it looks pretty hectic in here. There's a lot of lines everywhere. But it is getting rebuilt. The motor mounts, we do the same style. So motor mounts are just literally 2 tabs that we built on the side. And the motor just sits in a little cradle. Look at all the rubber in there. That is crazy how much rubber gets in these cars. We put a little V down here, mainly so you can jack it up, but also so any side impacts, it kind of helps prevent any damages. Underneath, we have the 6XD, which this guy is hanging out right there, ready to go back in. I know it's a little dark, I do apologize. But that guy's ready to go back in. Our exhaust got hammered. Look at this. I have oval piping exhaust, and it's not supposed to be oval. It was originally round exhaust, but some big dents here. It's cracked everywhere. This is just from 1 year use on this thing. But this is mainly from Seattle. They had us go all the way out to the wall this year on Seattle, and there's a jump. And when you land right here, or you land in the back and just keep bending your exhaust till it eventually just breaks off, especially if it's hot. And it was hot and cold because of the rain. So we're running a QuickTime bell housing, all the Holley stuff. Still running, this is new for this year, CNR radiators. This dropped a lot of temperature. I mean, that was a savior. And silly enough, this little guy, so this is just a sorrel pot, but the sorrel pot Magnuson gave us and was like, you guys need to run this. This changed a lot of temperature too, as far as intake air temps. Inside, pretty much the same, haven't really changed much. We're running still all the NRG things, the new steering wheel quick release hub. We have a new wheel. I gotta show you guys a new wheel. So we have a new wheel, stay tuned for that. PPK painted us a custom wheel, kind of just as a thank you. Like Patrick's up there is amazing up there in Canada. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he's bored or whatnot, but he does phenomenal paint work. So I was blown away by it. I think he has that plus his normal job and everything else going on, but he managed time to paint me a custom wheel. I'm super stoked. I've always loved his paint work. My helmet is still like the most insane thing I've ever seen. But yeah, that was pretty simple. We also changed from a big cool suit to this smaller cool suit. It's an Ultra Chiller. They're actually a local company. And that just made it a lot smaller and a lot easier because the ruling was you're no longer allowed to hold it here on the floor. That's why I have the little holes. It's because the cool suit used to go here on the floor, but now they wanted it outside of here so you could have passengers, different things. So they had to move it to the back. I didn't want to take 5 million clips out to fill up my cool suit every time because how I built the bar on this one, this cage is pretty far back here and this bar is pretty far back here. So I could not get the box out the side. So I'd have to get the box, actually, you know what? I don't think I could get the box out of here too. I think I have to pull the seat to get the box out of the back. So we decided just to go with the small cool suit style, the Ultra Chiller. Seemed like a better bet. Yeah, that's kind of where this is. I'm super excited to see what the new livery would be like on this car. So this livery's lasted a long time. Oh, look at this. I like this. I'll show you guys this. So this is super cool. This is Michael Estes' signature for 2020. I mean, there's still like rubber on the car, but all the way up around here. That's a rubber and fiberglass. This is when I hit him in Irwindale. So final round, final battle for us, final battle, not for him, but final battle. And I threw it in too hard and coming into inner zone or outer zone 2. So the bottom bank basically. I threw it in and I mean, I guess I must be right on line because I hit him rear tire here. So that means that, you know, I was pretty much a little bit deeper than him in the pocket. But I was on line, which is, you know, the key for this. I really tried practicing staying close and jumping in where it's scary. And the scariest transition, at least for me on that track, is right after inner clip 1, transitioning and getting on their door immediately. So yeah, that was actually a huge accomplishment for me. I know it seems very funny that it's an accomplishment to damage the car, but it showed that I could stay on throttle and transition through there. The other side I don't think is too bad. I know Odie beat me up over here. So we had to rewrap this corner. Look, there's still dents though, Odie. And let's see, and this back here was him too. We rewrapped this to make it not look so bad, but if you look it down here, it's got some waves to it. So a little, so we got into it a couple times actually with Odie there. And then this was sad, of course. That's my roof line. That is when we flipped the truck and trailer. So that's got to get repaired too for the season. But we just found out some not so good news about Mr. Motor. So we dropped the motor off at Greg from Millennium Motorsports. He's the one who originally built this thing 3 years ago for us. and I have not refreshed it in 3 years. I don't know if I just thought motors are supposed to last forever. Please don't do what I did. Please, whatever your engine builder tells you to do, just do it. I was like, oh no, the car sounds good. We're just gonna keep running it. Yeah, don't do that. We think it has, man, we drove like 72 days last year. This year being 2020, we drove a lot less. We only drove probably like 50 something. And then the year before that, we drove like 78 days. Not all in this car, but between this car and my practice car, which we didn't drive that very many times, maybe 40 days total. So you're still 150 days of driving on a pro setup car. So it's not really designed to last that long, I think. And we pulled the motor out. There's no damage, no knocks, no sounds or anything that we found out. But when I pulled the motor out, the front of the crank went ka-clink. And I mean, I'm not a motor expert, but I know that it's not supposed to go back and forth. So we had a little bit of plunge in the front, brought it down there, dropped it off, and he's like, oh, yeah, you might be in trouble. You do have something called crank walk, which is when the thrust washer in the middle of the crank, I think it's like in between 4, gets damaged, and then the crank can walk back and forth. He's like, hopefully it just needs bearings, maybe a crank or something. Let's pull it apart. He pulls it apart, finds out that one of the lifters collapsed, and there's like a roller on the lifter, and the roller broke and went up inside of it, and then flat spotted the rollers. So we damaged the cam. We took out 5 valves. We damaged the crank from the thrust washer, which also made the crank walk back and forth, which is what kind of made the pistons kind of slap, not traditional, but this way, and embedded metal up in there. And needless to say, we need a lot of a new motor. It also damaged part of the block, so we need like block crank, pistons. I think the rods are good, 5 valves, lifters. Yeah, and I think that might be it. So. We weren't really ready to do that much engine work. We thought we'd be set, but yeah, that was a stock motor, stock block, stock kind of everything. So for it lasting that long, we are running the Magnuson blower, and with that Magnuson blower, it's kind of hard to tell. I don't really know how much horsepower it makes, to tell you the truth. We can't make over 650 on the dyno because it just spins the tires, but I'm pretty sure we make more than that. But anyways, this year we ended up actually talking to Comp Cams and RHS. So we will be running a bigger motor, better motor, one that's actually designed for racing. So, that's probably a good idea. So actual race motor, RHS block, Comp Cams, all comp internals. So that should really, really help. That should, push us to that next level as far as horsepower. We were asking for a little bit more horsepower and a little bit less weight. That's kind of what the crew chief Nikki asked, was like, if we could do anything to the car, let's do that. Leave everything else alone. It's perfect. I just need to learn how to drive. So that's kind of the game plan, is to get a little bit more horsepower, maybe 150, 200 horsepower more, and lighten up the car a little bit, which I'm not really sure where we're going to lighten the thing up from. But yeah, that's kind of our plan for this year. So the other cool thing, Greg was like, yeah, I got good news and bad news. He's like, the bad news is you need basically a motor. We can save, like one head is okay, so not a whole lot. The good news, however, is that he thinks it was damaged prior to the season, like the beginning of the season, the lifter. And I had at least one dead cylinder, completely dead. So at our best at the beginning, we were running 7 cylinders. At the worst, he's like, we could probably be running, 2 hurt cylinders, 1 dead cylinder. So yeah, we seemed to not do too bad with a hurt motor, not knowing it was hurt. So that was, the reason why is, remember the whole exhaust scenario? I thought that the weird sound I heard was just because the exhaust was cracked in so many places. So that was totally my fault. I heard something. I'm like, hey, something sounds kind of funny. Can you guys check it? They dive underneath it. Like, yeah, your exhaust is cracked in 1, 2, 3, 4. It's probably your cracked exhaust. I'm like, you know what? We're going to go with cracked exhaust. Let's send it. And yeah, that was my bad not to call it and be like, yo, we need to check out what that sound actually is internally. But it was weird. We never got really any metal out of the motor, out of the pan, or on the drain plug or in the filters. So it's that's why he thinks it's been there for a long time, and I've just been continuously hurting it more and more and more. But anyways, that is our kind of up to date with you guys with where we're at for Pro 1. We're definitely running Pro 1 next year. We are possibly running some other things if the borders open up and allow us to go to different countries. We are, stay tuned, we're actually building another car, so stay tuned for that. You guys will enjoy the new car. So we're building another car. Send It Sally is coming back. I know you guys saw that we had some engine issues in that car as well. That one wasn't really an engine issue. We third lap out, we broke the oil pump. So stock BMW oil pump, never had any problems with them. We don't even know anyone who's ever had a problem with it in the way we did, but the actual shaft on the oil pump, normally the bolt will come off or the nut will come off. So we TIG welded the bolt on so it can't come off, but it actually just snapped the rod. So it just was like, I'm gonna take off here. And it just broke off and went stuck up in the top and then locked up the motor. So nothing that Sam over at 41 Motorsports could have done to prevent it. They didn't even, it's not like a normal common thing. We think we just got maybe just a bad oil pump from them. It's a brand new OEM BMW pump. So that's not a common thing for those motors to have happen. And we're not revved to the moon either. I think we stopped revving at like 7,200. So we kind of kept it pretty calm and pretty low key. So anyways, want to thank you guys for watching, staying with us. 2021, phenomenal season. We're looking forward to it. We really are. Like I said, it's always been a dream to drive Long Beach. Hopefully this update kind of showed you where we're at. This is the current livery on the car, which we will keep until the new livery gets unveiled. So we're going to be unveiling the livery in probably like 2 weeks, as soon as we get all of the input in and everything all good to go. And last but not least, hey, you guys stay safe on New Year's Eve. I know it can get parties and fun and everything else out there, so stay safe. Protect yourself with the whole COVID deal. And hopefully we will see you guys out in the stands and partying with us and hanging out in 2021. So stay tuned. We're gonna be posting a lot more stuff for you guys, trying to get you more content out. I know a lot of people are stuck at home, can't get to actual events. So we wanna do a lot of behind the scenes things. Also continue to check out Drift Smart. We're gonna be releasing one of those every single week. We already have some episodes with the Corvette, with the old Supras. We're gonna be doing some new Supra stuff. We're gonna be doing a lot of cool things. So stay with us, enjoy it, and leave some comments and feedback in the bottom what you guys would like to see, what you guys like, maybe what you guys don't like. And we'll kind of keep you guys up to date as our journey through the Pro 1 and kind of what we have going on. So thank you guys, hang with us.